3D printing is the stuff of dreams, where a computer image comes to life in a form which can imitate and sometimes even beat the real-life object it is trying to compete with. Welcome to the channel, everyone, and we'll be covering the marvels of the world of 3D printing. Let's begin with what is 3D printing and how it has come to capture the world of technologists, industrialists, and even artists. It is also known to the techno-savvy as additive printing. It is conducted by creating a three-dimensional image from a model which is either digital or produced or is a computer-aided design CAD. It happens when there is a computer-controlled deposition of materials which is joined together to realize the CAD. The process was first industrialized in the 1980s when it was used to produce functional prototypes. It has now evolved enough to become so prevalent in the realms of manufacturing, medical, industry, and sociological sectors. It is more so known that the same is used to produce many of the new prosthetics, medical tools, and even repairs to certain items. Number 1. Chocolate. This is right. You can now print chocolate into any design that you want with computer-aided accuracy. The company that has patented this 3D printing machine is called the Chalk Edge, which is a group of solo specialists who have come together to help form an organization that helps provide the requirements of individuals and companies interested in chocolate 3D printing. It seems to be based on orthodox coordinate printing technology. Instead of the usually used plastic that is the base component of this technology, it is instead able to use edible chocolate to print out small objects and drawings. The machine used by Chalk Edge is called the Chalk Creator, whose version 2 is now available for commercial use. The first task is to convert the designs into a three-dimensional model. The next step is to convert the same into an instruction code or G-code. These codes are a group of bits that are instructions to the computer to perform a specific operation. It could be simple as an addition, or in this case as complicated as converting a 3D model into reality. The same is read by the Chalk Creator V2 Plus to be able to convert the model, which is sliced into multiple sections. Each section has a different layer that is produced from the printer that helps it print out the chocolate into each instruction as decided based on the design. Number 2. Prosthetic jawbone. 3D printer was used to create the lower jaw of an 83-year-old woman's face. The doctors who conducted the operation was the first medical procedure of its kind. It was conducted in the June of 2013 using the 3D printer. It is on by using the titanium powder, which was heated and fused by laser one layer at a time. The surgery was conducted by the Biomedical Research Institute in Belgium, and the implant was printed out by the Layer Voice based in the same country. The patient had a case of chronic bone infection. Doctors believed that a reconstruction of the bone would have been very difficult and risky to do as there was a lack of bone density due to her age. It involved articulated joints and cavities to promote muscle attachment so that regrowth of nerves and veins in the area. It used a laser to meld the successive layers of titanium powder together to build the part. It took around 33 layers of titanium powder to build 1 mm of the height of the jaw itself. Just an estimate can be made on the total amount of layers taken to complete the whole project. The model, after being built, was given a bioceramic coating. It is a class of coating that is used for repairing or replacing damaged bone tissues. The materials can induce the regeneration of new tissue and thereby repairing the surrounding tissues. The operation was very smooth and it took only 1/5 of the time of the original operation. The new jaw now weighs 107 grams, which is just 1/3 heavier than before, but then doctors said that the same is not going to be an issue as it will take a readjustment to the extra weight. Number 3. Guns. Cody Wilson is a former student from Austin, Texas, has now become the inventor of the first ever 3D printed gun called the Liberator, which made on his home desktop. He went one step further to get the designs of the same into the public domain on 3dshare.com. The gun is mostly out of plastic, and the only metal that is present in the gun is 6 ounces or 170 grams as per Texas laws under the Undetectable Firearms Act. The metal detectors can still not pick up the firearm. Of course, there are a lot of concerns among the lawmakers about such a development. Not only does the same mean that there is going to be a lot more availability of guns quite easily, it is also easily concealable and cannot be detected by metal detectors. It is easily printable at home without a license, and even more, without an over-the-counter transactions, which cannot be traced in case someone decide to use the gun for commission of gun violence. Number 4. A human face. Yes, that is right. An artist, Heather Dewey Hagbark, has started to use sources of DNA such as gums, cigarette butts left by different people in the public spaces to create their faces using 3D printing. She has even used strands of hair that she and a group of biologists have found in open public spaces. The project that is dedicated to making faces of these people is called Heather as Stranger Visions. There is another project by the Brooklyn-based do-it-yourself biology lab. The artist can analyze DNA and determine the appearance of any of the person whose sample is collected. The same now is raising concerns about how much information on DNA is so easily collectible in the public spaces. This information now materializes into these real-life decoys that can now be printed on a computer. Number 5. Fashion. Even clothes that we wear are gonna be made by printing instead of weaving. It could be the next big thing after the sewing machine. 3D printing can now start turning flexible materials into fibers for new styles of clothing. The issue, though, was initially the time it took to produce a 3D clothing piece. It ran for 168 hours, going on continuously before a single piece was created. The difficulty was lack of the flexible materials for printing, which made it tedious to print a free-flowing piece of clothing. In the recent past, methods have changed, and now it uses a technique called the selective laser sintering process. It uses the aid of lasers to make the material sinter and bind on each other to form finely powdered substances and turn them into fibers. It typically uses nylon or polyamide, aiming the laser automatically to create the needed structure. It was recently on show when Dita Von Teese modeled a long black nylon dress completely 3D printed. It was made of powered nylon and was created by architect Francis Bitonti and designer Michael Schmidt. The dress was made out of 17 different types of pieces connected with 3,000 little joints to be able to hug Dita's body. Number 6. Unborn fetus. 3D printing now promises to make the fetus more real than what we can see in an ultrasound scanner. In Tokyo's Shibayuku, a health clinic named Hero O Ladies is now using a 3D printer for making a live model of the fetus inside a pregnant woman. They can provide this model floating in clear lucite using a 3D printer called Fasotech, which they call Tenshi no Katachi, or translated shape of an angel. It can become a piece of nostalgia and memory for the whole family to savor. The company says that they have already gotten 3 mothers to try this out. It is said that mothers are able to get a great joy in seeing what their babies look like before delivery. A company representative who spoke about this said that we actually got 3 expectant mothers to try this out. They said it felt great to see how their babies looked before birth and to be able to actually hold the inside of their own bodies. They also enjoyed looking at the model after giving birth, thinking, "This is how my baby looked inside me," and recalling how it felt to be pregnant. The service costs 100,000 yen, about $1,300, and uses a dual resin extruder to make the baby part and the solidified amniotic part of the same time. You can build the baby in multiple sizes and shapes, and you can using 3D imaging. Focus on the whole body or just the face. There you have it, folks, a few of the incredible 3D printing projects that you might have been unaware of before you tuned in. If you liked and enjoyed these, please give us encouragement for posting more videos of such kind by liking the video. Also, subscribe if you are new here and press the bell icon to get instant notification for all the new videos we post on the channel. Don't forget to comment about which of the projects you felt was the most incredible and where you would think the technology of 3D printing will lead us in the future.